each and one of you here. My name is Dan Delatorre. So excited to get ready to launch another season here at the Degenerate Race League. I cannot believe already 11 seasons. It's absolutely incredible to think. I will be alongside Jonathan Sclafani again this season. He is in our Discord chat with our driver, Sid. Welcome to the stream, and it's great to see you for another season. We're going to mix it up a little bit after I go through our Patreon Gold subscribers. Every season here at DRL, we start our season with what is a driver's briefing. We go through some of the rules, regulations, all that fun stuff, and usually it's done behind the scenes. Today, I'm going to pull back the curtain a little bit behind the scenes and show you kind of what this is like as I bring you into the driver's briefing. But before that, we got to take a minute to thank our Patreon Gold subscribers. Without all of their love and support, we could not do what we do here. So thank you to each and every one of you on the screen. All right, before we pull into the schedule, the mystery track, or anything else that's going on, let's pop in and do a quick driver's briefing.
To make.
Because the
You
lap
cut out half the
All right,
lap.
quiet down.
I know,
Yeah, but then it
peeps.
doesn't count. So you've just done half a lap for no reason and gone behind in the race. It's not a very good cut.
That's true.
All right, everybody. Hello and welcome to season 11. Round of applause, please. Okay.
Hi, Dan.
I love you.
All right, we have a lot of veterans here, so I know a lot of you guys already know the rules, but we do have a few new drivers, so want to take an opportunity to just go through some of the important rules. Qualifying, we're going to split into two groups. The first qualifying group is going to be the Pro-Am class and the AM class. So if you're in those two groups, you'll qualify for the first 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, if you're on a lap, you can finish it, but then pull into the pits and get out, and the pro drivers will get the last 10 minutes. Same pit rules as last season. So you have to take fuel. It's fixed at 25 seconds. If you want to take tires, it's an extra 5 seconds as well. A couple other things. A couple other things. No typing in the ACC in-game chat for any reason. If you do that, it is a penalty. We don't want any chats in there. You can chat in Discord if you have something to say. If for any reason you go off the track and you need to rejoin, make sure you do it in a safe manner. We don't want to have to deal with unsafe rejoins or any of that stuff. So just be careful about that. And that is pretty much it. Do we have any questions from anyone?
Yeah, did I miss the driver's meeting because I thought we already had it?
No, you're in the middle of it, John. It's
Close
happening
enough.
live.
Close
right
enough.
now.
That's where I'm going to be in the race also, in the middle. So that's cool.
The only other thing I forgot to mention was about the blue flags. If for any reason you are being lapped by someone, please make sure you do it on the next available straight. And you just pull out of their way and let them through. If you're going through turns, you're not required to give up your position. And if it is the last lap of the race, they do not show blue flags, so you are not required to get out of the way.
Okay, now I got to just say I'm offended that since I started talking, you remember blue flag.
I thought of it right before you said something, if it makes you feel any better, John.
All right, thank you.
All right, well, without further ado, we are going to leave you degenerates off. Have a great race and have a good season. All right, there you go. A little behind the scenes moment, although I may have had them muted. I don't know. Anyways, thank you guys so much. I'm kind of getting some things still set up on my end, but while we get this all set up, let's take a moment and welcome to our stream Jonathan Sclafani for another season here. Jonathan, welcome to the stream. Welcome back. How you feeling coming into season 11 here?
I'm fired up. I do love me a good season opener, a driver's briefing with nothing but chaos. People taking mock offense, truly sound effects. I mean, we've got it all, honestly, here at DRL. So if you needed any more reason to join, this is it. We're here to have a good time, that's for sure.
This is certainly true here. All right, I am pulling this up, but before, let's take a look at our schedule for the season. So we are starting tonight with our mystery track. Where will we be? I don't know. Next, we're going to go to Brands Hatch. Then Laguna Seca, one of my favorite tracks to drive. Then we are going to find ourselves, for my birthday, racing around the Red Bull Ring in a night rainy race. Following week will be my daughter's birthday. We will be having a reverse grid at Silverstone. So some chaos in the Delatory birthday households here. Then we're going to go to Watkins Glen. We are going to go to the polarizing COTA. Circuit of the Americas. You either love it or you hate it, but I don't know anyone in ACC who's indifferent to it. And as always, we'll round out our season with a mystery track as well. So the big question, where are we racing tonight? Let's find out together here. Quite a technical track.
Absolute banger names for the turns here too. By the way,
Sin, is
they
this
really
better?
know how to do it in these Nordic countries.
Sin, is this better? Is my mic back? Also, this screen is super messed up. Give me a second to fix this.
Looks like you're back. Yeah, you should be good.
Okay. All right. So, let's go through quickly here our drivers for this season. In our pro class, we have Logan Nagel returning. We have Kay Lau, Gavin Cook, Ryan Bono, the returning champion, trying to defend his crown here at DRL. We have Cam Waters, Neil Kerbel, Kyle Hirsch, and Professor Chronotis. Taking a look at our Pro-Am class, we have Christopher Black returning. We have Arturus Hermanis, who has been moved down to our Pro-Am class to balance out our standings. We have Stephen Noble, Senior Tarugo, returning champion Sam Zowiza, the silent assassin Alan Leong. We have a new driver, Laker Bono. Yes, Ryan Bono's brother has joined the league. Let's see if we can get dual Bono champions this season. And then, of course, we have Jim Kelly as well. And finally, in our AM class, we have a few new faces in here. We have Hudson K. We have returning champion John Malott. We have our creamiest driver, Creamy Von Cream. Ionis Kiadis, Gannon Faust. Will Sanchez, new driver Leon Gao, and new driver Felipe Pereira. What a lineup we have. 24 drivers this season. It's going to be incredible. And John, this is one of the first times we've actually had all three champions returning in their same class. As it worked out, there was no relegation or really moving around in any way there. So it's going to be exciting to see how these drivers end up, defending their titles, if you will.
100%. There's something to be said for defending your titles. Someone even argue it's probably harder because you did it once, now you got to do it a second time. And you never know with folks joining the league. Some of those guys in that rookie class, maybe potentially the AM class, going to be out there challenging John for a title. You know, we've got brotherly competition on the racetrack. We'll see how that turns out. That'll be fun. Like, there's a ton of storylines that are going to make for a really fire-up season here. Especially, you know, going on a track that like Zolder that's narrow, like we were talking about earlier. Like, this is a way to start a season. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is going to be a blast. And it'll be so interesting, as it always is, to see, you know, the stories of the season, how these drivers play out. You know, right now we're riding along with Kyle Hirsch, kind of going through these chicanes, and we could just see how absolutely chaotic this is going to be for all the drivers. Coming into this turn here as well can be a bit of a tricky braking point to come through and really slow that car down enough and not lose too much traction. And then we kind of go through this final chicane here that we're going to come up with, which kind of throws you off because it's such like a stretched out, elongated chicane where you really are making like 2 full turns around.
Losing some traction there too on the exit. You got to be real careful coming around that turn. You put the power down too early, and that's a really easy way to just smoke your entire run up the straight. So this is a Zolder. You know, I said I hadn't driven it much. I've driven it enough to know that it's a technical. That's a bit of a decision. Is a technically like a highly technical track in terms of the different corner speeds, the narrowness of the track. Some of these places don't have a great runoff area. It's one of those tracks like you dip your back wheel into the dirt and like all of a sudden you're facing the wrong direction. It's like, wow, I made one mistake. I had a mental error, and now I've just given up 15 seconds on this lap. So sticking 24 drivers on this sucker as a season opener with them having next to no time to prepare is just truly an unbelievably good decision by us, I would say.
You know, I do think this is one of the better tracks for a mystery track in the sense that you have like Sector 1 and the back half of Sector 3, which are great overtaking spots, but then you get into like the middle part of this track and it's so narrow you can't really make overtaking moves. You need to try to force the mistakes, and the lack of practice is going to amplify the mistakes. People aren't going to have their braking points dialed in as much. They're not going to be quite on 100% of their game. And I think we're going to see more mistakes happen and more chaos, which is exactly what the mystery tracks are all about.
Well, the other thing, too, that I didn't even think to mention, but is totally a factor here, there aren't many racetracks nowadays where you have to deal with elevation as it pertains to the way it impacts your car's grip and braking zone. So these GT3 cars are so dependent on aerodynamic grip that, you know, you find some of these guys coming up over a crest right before a turn, and your car reacts so differently in the sim versus, you know, if you're on a flat surface versus if you're coming down a hill, you're on a cambered turn. So a lot of folks, like you even see Perea there, like all it takes is one like missed braking point and then you're offline for that entire second sector. Like that's what you're just talking about, Dan, where it's like so easy to get off your game and just open the door up because you just, you know, you haven't had a lot of practice, right? You haven't spent all week getting fired up and learning your braking points. You're having to deal with elevation change, which is not something that a lot of racetracks will do. A lot of everybody's favorite racetracks, you think Spa, you think Mount Panorama, those all have elevation because drivers love it. But like, you know, I always joke, what's the part of COTA that everybody loves the most? It's that run up to turn 1 where you're climbing the hill and having to stop the car and make like a really hard left-hand turn. Everybody loves that. So just a ton of you know, technical requirement here, mechanical learning that these guys are going to be doing all throughout this practice session, all throughout qualifying, and through the race. I won't be surprised. Obviously, the cars get lighter with less fuel. We're going to see faster lap times, but these guys are going to be learning the track as the race goes on. So it'd be something to keep your eye on to see who can sort of evolve and learn who's got enough lap time on Zolder to be able to take the advantage, right?
Absolutely. Neil, thank you for the follow and the Prime subscription. Neil is absolutely goated. There's a reason he's sitting at the top of the leaderboard right now. And let's give him some warm fuzzies to get him ready for an exciting race tonight. And for those of you joining us on Twitch here, we do have a little bit of race whiskey tonight as we celebrate the start of Season 11. As I was saying earlier, this is one of the few seasons where we have all 3 drivers who are looking to defend their title. And it will be really interesting to see how it plays out. In the AM class, John Malott ran away with it in the beginning, but all of a sudden, Creamy found his pace last season, and he won like the last, 3 races, Jonathan? And so it'll be really interesting to see if he's able to kind of take down John or if he becomes too complacent there. Sam Zawiza had a really dominant run, but Jim Kelly was there for a lot of the races. He had some travel that he was going on, so he was able to be there. Same with Christopher Black. Stephen Noble joined late, so there's going to be some competition there. We also have Arturas Hermanis, who's going to be racing there. I know he's got a big travel schedule this season, so he's only going to be able to make a small number of the races. But having a fast driver and only making the small number of the races is going to kind of mix up the standings because it might take a win or 2 away from one of these drivers. So how will that come into play? And then, of course, Ryan Bono had such incredible speed last season. Can anybody catch him? That's going to be the big question. You know, and it doesn't look like Ryan's here as of yet. Right now, we currently only have 16 of our 24 drivers who are able to make the race tonight. Neither of the Bono drivers are here, so we will have to see what kind of happens with that.
Also, too, we did not have a big gap between seasons. We put it out to the drivers. We, said, hey, you could get up to a month break. Like, how long do you guys, really want? And the general consensus was 1 to 2 weeks. Like, they wanted to get right back into it, which I think for sure will play a factor. Even between seasons, you're obviously going to take some time off the sim because, it does eat up a ton of time, but 2 weeks is not a long time to be out. They're in and out real quick, and especially seeing the folks that aren't here tonight and who will make it throughout the season sporadically. That's the kind of stuff that super shakes up the standings. So who knows? We'll have to keep an eye on all the classes just to pay attention, see who's got the pace early here.
Absolutely. And Ryan has joined us in chat. Ryan, welcome to the chat. Ryan says that the admins here at DRL sent him on a world tour. He's doing press, he's shaking hands, he's kissing babies. So he is out. Him and Laker are out doing a press tour for us, so they will not be here tonight.
Somebody had to do it.
That's right.
Great that we sent them out. Truly, just knowing them personally, I truly am just so fired up for them. I raised my fridge sig, my Dr. Pepper Zero in salute, right?
That's right. Your Dr. Pepper baby. All right, we're right along with Tarugo as we get started with our first qualifying of the season to see what it is that Tarugo is able to do. He is leaving out our first group. If you were here when we did our little drivers briefing, we are splitting our qualifying into 2 groups. Our first group is for our Pro-Am and our AM drivers. They get the first 10 minutes on the track to put up their best possible times. After that, the final 10 minutes will go to our Pro class drivers. We split it up just to give each driver a little bit of room. There is no overtaking in qualifying, so help them create a little bit of separation. If this season's qualifying is anything like last season, it is going to be exciting. It is going to be whoever's the last across the line, and we're going to see drivers beating each other by hundredths or thousandths of a second as Tarugo starts his first lap. In fact, last season, Jonathan, correct me if I'm wrong here, but we even had 2 drivers put up identical times as Tarugo goes way off track there.
We did, and not even like in a they didn't even do it in like similar conditions. Like it was a beginning of the session / end of the session situation, which makes it even less likely to happen. Hilarious, absolutely comical. Like to be thousandths of a second and be identical is I can't explain to you how improbable it is.
No, it is pretty crazy. So we're right along with Christopher Black here. We're going to see this first chicane. That is where it's really tricky. You want to take some curb so you don't lose it, but if you take too much curb, you just completely unsettle the car, and you are kind of flying out of here. And then again, this one you can take way more speed through this chicane than you kind of expect you would be able to. And this is, again, a spot where you can lose a lot of time on qualifying. Coming into this hairpin turn here, again, is a little bit of a tricky braking point. Somewhere between that board on the side and the 100-meter mark is usually where you see these drivers brake. But you really want to try to maximize your exit speed coming out of the hairpins. And Jonathan, maybe talk a little bit about how tricky that can be sometimes, the hard braking into, keeping that exit speed.
Yeah, it's tough because you're especially in the race, you're so focused on the guy in front of you. Even if you're out on your own, you're just trying to hit your braking point. And I can say from experience, it's one of the things I'm the worst at as a driver. I'm so throttle happy. I want to get on the throttle early because I feel like, and as a driver, you feel like you got to just kind of pin it. Like, it's like, you're not here to go slow. Like, let's get after it. And it's the age-old adage, right? Like, smooth is slow, slow is fast. I'm probably saying that out of order, but it sure does make sense. It's like, you got to keep the car, throttle pedal application has got to be smooth. Even going through these chicanes, you don't want to stamp the brake. These cars have ABS, but you're not supposed to engage it. The best drivers are pushing the car to the limits of ABS without triggering it. So keep your eyes on where folks are braking, especially early on here. You're going to see people starting to brake earlier for this corner than they probably need to. And as the session and as the race goes on, they're going to get more comfortable in the car. They're going to get more comfortable with the tires being heated up. And they'll probably start, I won't be shocked if people are getting, once those brakes get heated up, you can wait until that Pirelli board on the left side, maybe even a little after it, to stop the car. Because that turn is a little bit like Parabolica at Monza. You kind of like open the steering up after you make the hairpin and like get on the throttle and just sort of pin it as soon as you're past the apex.
Yeah, very well said. So taking a look at how our drivers have qualified, Jim Kelly put up pole position, but here comes Creamy Von Cream, spraying his cream all over the track, taking pole position right now from the AM class. I brought this up earlier, and he has shown it. Creamy has found incredible pace these last few weeks, currently in pole position with a 129.1. Jim Kelly right behind him with a 130. That's 0.8 of a difference. Incredible lap. Sam Zuiza is 0.3 behind Jim Kelly. Stephen Noble is 0.4 behind. I say that, and Stephen Noble just jumped him with the 129.7. We got Tarugo, who put up a 130.5. Christopher Block with a 130.7. How about this? All of our drivers are pretty much separated by 1 second or less in our Pro-Am class. Absolutely incredible. John Malot's in the pits after putting up a 130.9. H. Kang, Hudson Kang is coming through right now, repping from Canada, one of our new drivers here. So let's give him a little feature as he works his way across the track. He is currently up by about half a second. Christopher Black is one to keep an eye on, who's on some mega pace right now, up by about 0.8 on his lap. And where is he on this track? We're going to see Hudson slide around, so unfortunate. A little bit of commentator's curse there. Welcome to DRL, Hudson. All right, we got Christopher Black coming through. Let's see as he crosses the line. Where will this put him? It'll put him up in 3rd place, right behind Stephen Noble, just by 0.2. How about this, Jonathan? Season 11 has officially started, huh?
Hey, I got to give Creamy some credit. He's still 0.6 up on Noble in second. Like, that lap, he's got a purple second, purple 3rd sector, and he is 0.03 behind the fastest sector. That would be sector 1. So he threw down the gauntlet, and Kelly out here, he's caught up now. He's only 0.3 behind. 0.3 is a lot, folks. Creamy threw down an absolute smoker of a qualifying lap, so it'll be fun to see what's going on here. Jim's up about 0.2, already, but you got to get 0.3 on Creamy. This is gonna be tough.
That's right. Sam Zuiz is able to jump Christopher Black, but again, nowhere near where he needs to be. Let's hop on and ride along with Jim Kelly, who's about halfway through his lap here, coming through these chicanes, seeing where he can maximize his pace, where he can maximize his speed throughout this track. But this is also, you know, kind of the story of mystery tracks, right, Jonathan? Is maybe Creamy's got some practice or some experience on this track, maybe more than some of the other drivers, and that's giving him that advantage. But we're also seeing, you don't always see drivers improve half a second, 0.8 of a second every single lap in qualifying normally.
No, you know, let's call a spade here. Everybody that's got a sim rig has loaded up Spa, and you may be 3 seconds off the pace of where you want to be, and all of a sudden you link it all up, you put it all together, and you get like an absolute smoker of a lap. That happens. It's not luck. It's just, you know, sometimes everything clicks, and that's what it looks like happened for Creamy there. He just, I mean, to be purple and he's still, to be clear, he's still purple in the second and third sector. Like, to be that close in the first and then purple in 2 and 3 and still be holding that after everyone's done 3 or 4 quality laps is just magnificent. It'll be really interesting to see where he ends up after the pro class does their qualifying. We'll see what kind of pace those folks have, but that is a highly competitive time.
No, it was, and as we were talking, we did see Sam Suiza, who went off track there. Sam was up by over a second on that lap. So Sam's got the pace. He's got 1 more minute. He needs to get 1 more lap in. He needs to keep control of the car. Creamy was up. He kind of lost it there. Let's hop on with Jim Kelly to see what he's able to do here as he works his way up by about 0.2 right now. Turigo's up by about 0.2. They're the only drivers who are currently improving on their times. So let's keep an eye on this. We have 45 seconds left in this qualifying session, so it looks like Christopher Black will have time for another lap. 462 is Creamy Von Cream. He'll get another one. Tarugo will get another one. Where is 52? Sam Suiza is not going to get through. I do not think he's going to be close if he's able to get through to get 1 more lap in. But this is close for Jim Kelly. How's he able to hold on to his traction coming out this final chicane? This is looking good. He's going to be able to if he can hold it here. Will he get past Creamy Von Cream for pole? He will! Jim Kelly's going to take pole position, and he's got 10 seconds left. So that means he's going to have time for 1 more lap here to see what he can do. But in the final seconds, Jim Kelly's going to be able to take that position from Creamy Von Cream, who is not currently improving on his time. This is huge. Stephen Noble, he's in the pits. He's going to call it with a 129.7. Will anyone be able to pass them up? We got Pereira, who came out a little bit, but he's decided to go back into the pits and not put up a time at all. Christopher Black is up by about 0.2 right now, but he's going to be more than that. Time is up, and Sam Zuiza did not get across the finish line again. Holy cow. So we're going to ride along with Christopher Black here. He is going to be our next driver to cross the line, but he has not found an improvement there. How about Jim Kelly, huh, Jonathan?
That's a lap. He very briefly, he held purples in 2 and 3, ripped him straight from Creamy's, I guess, creamy fingers. But truly, like, credit where credit's due. I mean, everybody putting down, like, let's call a spade a spade. They got no practice here. This is all really well done. But to be a 10th within each other there, that's just 2 guys just throwing down the gauntlet. That's what qualifying's supposed to be about, man. That was awesome.
Absolutely. We saw Christopher Black and we saw Creamy Von Cream. Interesting how Kang is mixed up. Hudson is mixed up with these pro drivers. I'm not sure how this happens.
You know, listen, I'm not going to say that I slipped him a 20 to cause some chaos. I sure hope he does, though. It would be hilarious if he did. I'm always a fan of chaos, especially as it pertains to qualifying, so...
Yeah, just as the way the timetables start, he shouldn't really get caught up there. Let's see. Is he in...
He also pulled off. Oh, no, it didn't. It looks like it thought he did, but...
Jonathan, do me a favor. Pop in the ACC chat channel. Give Hudson a friendly reminder that he's only gets the first 10 minutes to qualify, just in case
let him know.
Is unaware. All right, let's see. Car number 420, it looks like, is leading the charge. Oh, he's probably last out. Neil Kerbal, the great and powerful Neil Kerbal, is probably leading us out here. So we're going to ride along with Neil Kerbal with a beautiful new livery that Neil Kerbal is rocking this season, or at least for this race. An anime-inspired one from an anime called Evangelion. The characters Asaka Langley, Soiru, and Evan Unit 02. How about that, Neil? Correct me if I got those wrong. As a big anime fan myself, it's not what I watched, and might have to put it on the watch list to see the type of 80s anime that good old Neil Kerbal likes. Add it to his list of things.
I'm just waiting for the off-campus livery, you know, as a fellow trash TV enjoyer. I just think we got an opportunity. Somebody has a paintbrush and a vision, and I just need them to execute on that vision, you know.
And it's John Malott. You need one made, John's got you. He's our resident livery creator here. But as we've seen our first couple drivers cross the finish line here, we got Neil Kerbal continuing his dominant streak from practice with the 128.4 to take pole position. Logan Nagel 4/10 behind him. Kyle Hirsch 4/10 behind him as well. Let's hop on and ride along with Cam Waters here, who did not put up a time in his first lap. Cam Waters, sophomore season here. I can't think of any driver in DRL history who has come in with more of a bang and more excitement. Well, Ryan came in last season and just dominated everyone. But Cam came in and just battled with everyone. Of whatever our total race time was last season, let's call it 8 hours, he probably spent 7 hours and 55 minutes within a tenth of a second of someone during those races. Cam was just absolutely in battles, race after race. One of the most exciting drivers seasons we've ever got to follow along here at DRL. Out here with his Monster Energy livery, seeing what he's able to do this season.
He knows how to follow people. That's a compliment. Not a lot of sim racers know how to follow and put the pressure on without making a pass, and he sure does. So
and it was also the
he's one of my
defense, too.
favorites. Oh my gosh, that car, he was making that car as wide as the track was. Like, I just love it when guys defend hard but safe, and he never seemed to be like, he was always that guy that you probably like, you just hated to see in front of you because you knew it was going to be just an effort to get past him. Those guys are the best. Like, you look back after the race and you're like, damn, like that's a hell of a defense. So it'll be fun to see, you know, especially if he can get himself in a really good spot. Right now he's flying. He's right behind Neil for pole. We get to watch him defend for an entire race. We're going to be in for a fun evening.
Yeah, see, it looks like Hudson is still out on the track here, as well as Pereira. So two of our rookie drivers out there still on the track. Maybe a penalty incoming for there, especially given the contact. Highly unfortunate for Professor Chronotis there, as he's rocking the new livery as well this season. All right, so taking a look at our standings as it currently stands, Neil Kerbal is still holding his pole position. He's slightly improving on that. Cam Waters came right behind him with the 128.8, only 4/10, well, not even quite 4/10, a little under that from Neil Kerbal. Logan Nagel, Kyle Hirsch, Gav Cook are all right there, and then Professor Chronotis is looking to put up a time. Hopefully he'll be able to find some pace here. With that said, let's hop along with Logan Nagel. He just crossed the line. Wasn't enough. Kyle Hirsch did get enough to jump. But let's ride along with Cam Waters here. Cam Waters is going to cross the finish line here. He was up by a little bit, lost it through that final turn. Unfortunate here. Kyle Hirsch, how about that? Repping the Hirsch brothers, back-to-back seasons of being the solo brother out there. Daniel, if you're out there, you crushed my dreams of a brotherly battle between the Hirsches and the Bonos, and I'm never gonna forgive you for it. But Kyle's out here repping strong, 0.05 of a second. We see Neil Kerbel's going to spin out there. 3 minutes and 14 seconds on the track. He'll have enough time to get into the pit lanes and get out. Let's hop on with Gav Cook here. And let's ride along and follow Gav Cook in our helicopter cam. He is down by half a second right now, and he is up by 0.4 currently on this lap. So if he can hold on to it, he may be able to get in the mix here for pole position. Gav Cook here at DRL is one of the original drivers of DRL. In fact, I think he is at this point in time the last of the original core of degenerates out here. He also races in our iRacing League as well, so he's our only driver with over 100 races in DRL since we started tracking it, which is very incredible.
He's also way faster than he'll give himself credit for it. Dude's drives a rocket ship, and he's not afraid to defend, and he's not afraid to attack.
And he is not afraid to make contact.
No, and it's some people would call that negative. Max Verstappen has made a career in Formula One from defending hard and driving like he's the one in charge, and Gav has got that, man. He's spent so much time. He's such a good driver. You can always tell, he's always in that top 5 of the race. Unless something goes totally awry, he's there waiting to pounce on someone's mistake. And it's the number of times I see Gav in my tail mirrors when I'm racing and iRacing, and I'm like, oh god, here we go, and he just blows past me is astonishing.
No, you're absolutely right, and he's never finds himself as the fastest car on the track as pure pace, but he is certainly always in a position to capitalize on any mistake that a driver makes, and it's why he constantly finds himself on the podium. Neil Kerbel was up big, and he lost it there, unfortunately. Let's ride along with Logan Nagel. He's up by about 0.2. Cam Waters is up by some time. So we've got about 1 minute and 10 seconds here, so all the drivers will be able to finish their lap and probably get in one final lap here. All these drivers seem to be losing all their time on this final chicane. They're just not able to keep that traction. Gav Cook, I said that, and he just put up pole position. How about that? Gav Cook's coming in, throwing.
He came flying through that last hairpin. He gained a ton of time there.
That he did. Mr. Beans on toast himself, Gavin Cook, coming up in pole position. Neil Kerbel right now is improving. He is still early days of his lap. Kyle Hirsch is also up pretty big here as he's working his way around. So yeah, for these drivers, this is probably going to be it. Let's hop on with Professor Chronotis to see if he's able to cross the finish line in the final 15 seconds here. He should be able to cross the line without finish. So what will Professor Chronotis be able to do on his final lap? Let's hop on right now with Kyle Hirsch. He will be our first to cross the line. Gav Cook is improving. All the drivers, in fact, are improving on their time on this last lap here. With that, our time has ended, so qualifying is over. This is it. The drivers got to find their pace. They got to find it here. Neil Kerbel needs to find about 0.2. Kyle Hirsch needs about 0.2. Lo Nagel is in the pits. Cam Waters needs about half a second here, so we'll see what these drivers are able to do. But right now, Kyle Hirsch is up big. Oh, I said that, and he lost it in the final exit turn. He's going to lose it. Unfortunately for Kyle Hirsch, that's not going to be enough. Next to come across is Gav Cook. He's going to slightly improve. Now we have Neil Kerbel. Is it enough for Neil Kerbel to take pole position? It's close, and Neil Kerbel is going to take pole position, but Cam Waters is on a mega lap here. Can he hold it down this drag strip? He needs 6.6 seconds. He's close. It's not quite enough. A 1.2 or 128.2 for Cam Waters. Unfortunate. Professor Chronotis is not improving any at all either. So we'll ride along with him, but that's probably going to be it. But a 128.1 for Neil Kerbel, a 128.2 for Gav Cook, and a 128.26 for Cam Waters. This final exit of the chicane, Jonathan, is where all our drivers are losing it.
It's funny too. Our top 3 is separated by less than 1/10 of a second. That's just literally qualifying. You could not ask for anything else. That is awesome. And that chicane's going to catch people all race, by the way. Let's not forget that these tires get dirty, and all of a sudden the car's facing the wrong direction. So it'll be fun to see how everybody reacts when there are cars all around them.
No, you're absolutely right. And one other addition to make here is during this final 10 minutes, someone has snuck up on us here. The silent assassin himself, Alan Leung. Starting season 11 from the back of the grid, ready to cut down some AM drivers here. Coming out with a bang already. All right, let's go through, as we always do here, our grid walk to start the race. We have about 4 minutes for the drivers to build their strategies out. But let's take a look through. Ooh, I'm going really fast there. Slow down a little bit. All right, we got Neil Kerbel rocking the Lexus this season. Beautiful new livery from him. And alongside our pole sitter is Mr. Beans on Toast himself, Gav Cook. Got the Taco Fino livery. Some might say that it's raining tacos from out of the sky. Tacos, no need to ask why. Just open your mouth and close your eyes, because it's raining tacos. All right, and then we have Cam Waters rocking again with his monster livery. A beautiful livery as always. And then we have the alien hunter, Kyle Hirsch. You know Kyle is meaning business when he's bringing out the alien hunter. Gonna chop down some aliens, aren't you, Mr. Hirsch? All right, and then we got Logan Nagel. It's just nice and clean. A no-nonsense driver, Logan Nagel. Ready to make some no-nonsense out there. And our Gazophilia, our pole sitter for the Pro-Am class, Jim Kelly. Look at it there. Right there. If you didn't believe me, Jim Kelly right there. Alongside Jim Kelly, we have Professor Chronotis with some math on his livery. Jonathan, are you a
He is
math
a
guy?
professor, you know. I do enjoy a math equation here too, but it's been, I'm checking my notes, I think it's been 9 years since I've done integrals, so
Integrals was more I had on it. Anyone in chat solves this equation, I'll gift you a sub.
I
All right.
unironically think it might be 1, but we'll see what happens. I'll let the chat figure that one out.
Oh, he's got the little oh, he's here to mow people down. I get it. Professor Chronotis, he's here to mow him down, hence the mower there. All right. Professor Chronotis, if you watch this back, help me out with some math here. All right, we got our Krispy Kreme, our cream-filled, creamiest driver, pole sitter, Creamy Von Cream. He's going to find himself in an interesting position tonight because he is surrounded by Pro-Am drivers. So he's going to have to make a decision pretty quickly. Do I battle the Pro-Am drivers or do I just focus on the Pro class? We got Christopher Black of Gazophilia as well. Same livery as Jim Kelly, but we love Christopher Black just as much. We're just going to move on to our noblest driver, Sir Stephen Noble, the knight himself. How noble of him. Again, with just a beautiful, clean livery here. We're going to go to Sam Zawiza, the Dark Knight, as we may call him, in this black Ferrari, ready to defend his title. We got a nice new livery for Senor Tarugo. The Tarugo, one might say. Very nicely done.
This is on my short list for best liveries of the season. It's sick. This was a tribute livery at Laguna Seca and IMSA, and he's done such a great job recreating it. It's dope.
Now that he does, the old Apple tribute it looked like. All right, and then we have Hudson Kang, Mr. Hudson himself. Zenith Vehicle Management. Beautiful little, nice, clean livery. A very classic livery. This is something you could feel like you would see on an actual grid. Credit to John Malott for the livery. Tarugo is stream sniping us. Tarugo, get in the car. What are we doing, Tarugo? You got a race to win, buddy. No, I'm just kidding, Tarugo. We love you here. Hang out with us as much as you want. All right, who are we looking at here? We're looking at John Malott, who's got the lantern, the Green Lantern with the chipmunk on it. I haven't watched Green Lantern, so I'm not sure the chipmunk reference.
I'm a fan. I like it.
Nice and clean. And we got Gandon Faust, who's joined him here. with the beautiful green lantern livery. We got Pereira, another just nice, clean livery. The race has started. All right, let me move this way.
Cameraman's getting
This is
run
just
over at the moment.
absolute chaos.
I wouldn't worry about Dan getting run over. I'm sure he'll be fine. He's survived before, you know.
That's right. I'm resilient. All right, and we have Alan Leung, who's also on Braun GP. So it is raining tacos on our Silent Assassin. Whew! We did it. We got through.
I am convinced, by the way, that Alan just joins late so he gets to pass people all night. Like, there's no way. Like, he's so quick. Folks, I don't know how many folks that are in chat that are not watched many of these races. We call him the Silent Assassin for a reason. Dude is absolutely rapid. And he's sitting at the back of the grid, like, licking his chops at all these drivers in front of him.
Yeah, and you know, the other thing is when he passes people, usually it's this long, built-up battle where it's like you're trying to force him to take lap after lap. Just somehow it's just like you look at the timetables and he's like a second and a half behind him, and then a lap later, he's 3 seconds ahead of them. And you're just like, how the hell did he get in front of them? There's no battle.
He's got Jedi mind control for sure.
He just
we
cuts
gotta
him
have to
down.
check on that.
All right, so we're here doing our full outlap as always. Give the drivers a chance to get their cars warmed up, get their minds right, get one last feel of the track before we get started. But if you're hanging out with us in chat here, I would love to hear what's your racing prediction, who will win in each class, and of course, if you hang out with us, we would love Driver of the Day nominations.
Neil doing God's work backing this pack up, by the way. Yeah, he's just making sure that we're gonna have an entertaining lap war, and that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and it's always interesting to see as we see the cars go side by side. It wouldn't be the first time that we actually had the second place driver get the better jump on the pole sitter. So it'll be interesting to see. But Neil has some good starts. I can't think of how many races Gav has started in the front of the grid. And I think with that lack of experience, you're going to see either an incredible start or a terrible start, and there will be no in between.
I have faith in Gav. Let it be said. I can't wait to eat my words, though. That'll be awesome.
All right, we got a little wink of the headlights from Neil coming down the main straight to the camera. And we are racing with the green flag here. Neil's coming down. Cam Waters looking to fill in. He's moving left. He's moving right. He's thinking about diving inside, but he's going to think better of it. Gav Cook's going to try to make his way around on the outside, and it's not going to happen. And Cam Waters is going to be right there as well. We got some absolute racing going off here. We got Cam Waters and Kyle Hirsch side by side. Kyle Hirsch has the better line on the inside, and I think he's going to be able to take that position from Cam Waters. Cam Waters isn't ready to sacrifice it yet. They are still going wheel to wheel, and that's going to be a move stuck for Kyle Hirsch. Going up and down the grid. Stephen Noble got ahead of Sam Zoiza. Who else has made ways up? Professor Kronotis got ahead of Logan Nagel as the racing continues. Let's move down the grid a little bit. We got some Gazophilia team racing against each other. Christopher Black is chasing down teammate Jim Kelly here, who's behind Professor Kronotis. Jim Kelly is still leading out the group. Big start of this race here for Kyle Hirsch, Logan Nagel. Professor Kronotis got up there as well. Let's see, Creamy Von Cream is still being able to hold his position here, which is great. Alan Leung already up 2 places, and we're not even halfway through the first lap. Silent Assassin at work there.
Yeah, he just literally, it's like he's like driving on rails, actually. But I mean, listen, everybody made it through this first lap. We're playing safe tonight, I guess, because nobody has advanced preparation here at Zolder. But this track is narrow, so there's probably a lot of people that are thinking, I'm just going to bide my time.
That's right, although you say this, and Creamy's right here, right behind. We're also going to see Stephen Noble and Sam Zoiza going wheel to wheel coming into the turns. The drivers are just being awfully respectful as they feel out the track. understand the conditions here of what's available, but we're going to see Stephen Noble go a little wide there, but Sam's going to think better of trying to make any sort of overtake. Alan Leung, we're going to see him get through. John Malott, he's now cut down 3 drivers. 3/10 ahead of him is Hudson Kang. Let's watch along and see as the Silent Assassin goes to work. As we see Gannon and John racing each other hard here as well. We also got
We have a tight pack too. The top of our pack is really tight, and there's a mid pack as well. That 4 driver between Creamy and Tarugo is really, really bunched. I say that as some folks are pulling away, but there's going to be some movement here. I can feel it.
That's right. We got Stephen Noble. We got Sam Zuiza, if you see in that rear view mirror. Tarugo as well. Let's get back in the helicopter because we got a 4-way. The only thing better than a 3-way is a 4-way.
A 4-way that's getting creamy. Love to see it.
That's
Truly
right.
DRL. Yeah, that's ideal.
All right, here we go. Sam Zuiza's got a great inside line here. Is this going to be enough to take down Stephen Noble? Coming down the main straight, they are wheel to wheel coming into this turn. The inside line is the better line here, but if Zuiza can carry on that traction, and he's going to be able to. He's going to land himself perfectly for turn 2. Bert, welcome to the stream. Hope the boys did good tonight. All right, and we got... Stephen Noble is not ready to give up that position. He's got it positioned on the inside here, keeping the pressure. We're also going to move to Kyle Hirsch and Gav Cook going wheel to wheel there through the chicane. That's going to open it up for Cam Waters sneaking behind. What a start to this race. We have battles up and down the grid. Let's see who fell down. Creamy Vaughn. Cream has fallen down. We're going to go back 30 seconds in time, Jonathan, to see what happened to our creamiest driver. But were we too late? Did it happen earlier and we just missed it and he's trying to make up time? Let's see. No, he spun. He lost traction and through go all the drivers. So unfortunate for Creamy Vaughn. Cream, you certainly hate to see it. Let's go back to the battle between Kyle Hirsch. We still got 2-1-0 and we are live watching this battle now. Oh man, what a battle. We also got Alan Leung who got through Hudson Kang, so our Silent Assassin has officially cut down every AM driver this season already. How about that?
You know, I feel so bad for Creamy because you just, like, I know exactly what he's feeling. That the car gets so light when you lose traction like that. Like, it just feels like you almost get no response from the tires. And it just, like, you kind of have to just make a perfect input to stop it from spinning. And all it took was a tiny bit of, front tire on the grass. Credit to him, though. The car is not obliterated. It literally didn't make contact with a single wall. I don't know how he managed that, but credit where credit's due.
Yeah, absolutely. And, as we were talking here, it looks like, let's go back 15 seconds in time. Kyle Hirsch made a move on Gav Cook. Did he make the move himself, or was it a mistake by Gav Cook?
I saw a yellow flag. Let's see.
Yeah, it looks like Gav Cook, he just went off there. Unfortunately, as I said, you take a little bit too much of that curb and it unsettles that car. It's dropped Gav Cook down into 6th place. Unfortunate for Gav Cook. Let's hop on with Cam Waters right now. What a surprise, Jonathan. Cam Waters is finding himself still in the thick of a battle. Season 11 continues where Season 10 ended.
For sure, and he's the meat of this Hirsch-Waters-Nagel sandwich, and I don't like being in the middle, but if there's a guy that I trust to do it, it's Cam. He's got the widest car on the grid sometimes, it feels like. And if you look at his delta, he's just keeping himself within 1 second of Kyle, and he's just waiting for him to make a mistake. It's a lot tougher for these pro drivers to make a mistake. They tend to drive, really clean races, but sometimes you just got to be there and wait for your moment, and that's what he's really good at.
No, you're absolutely right, and we did hop over and see Gav Cook. We're going to keep an eye on him. Bert, the Bono duo was sent by our staff to do some press tours. They are out of town. They're kissing babies. They're shaking hands. They are just hyping up DRL. So they will be back week 2, hopefully. We're following along with Tarugo right now as he is chasing down. We're actually going to go back to Gav Cook as he is looking to mow down the mower, Professor Chronotis. But yeah, as Bert said, a little too much curb for Mr. Beans himself. So let's see how we can make up the time. Yeah, absolute
The
legends.
chicane has
indeed.
already claimed one tonight, so I am keeping a chicane count for how many victims it has claimed.
All right, and you know what? Neil Kerbal right now, he's only a second and a half ahead of Kyle Hirsch. Usually we see that lead driver really run away with it, but not so much today. We're going to keep an eye on this timetable. I'm going to go back over to Creamy. Creamy is looking to spray some cream all over John Malott right now. So let's see if he's able to do that. He's made up 2 places already. He's got ahead of Pereira and he's got ahead of Gannon Faust after spinning out and finding himself in last place. But we learned one thing in qualifying, and that is Creamy Von Cream has some pace out there.
He's flying, and John is no slouch, as everybody knows. I mean, the guy is a champion. So, Creamy picking up where last season left off. He had a really strong end to the season, and he mentioned that these mystery tracks are tough because you don't get practice. It's tough to just hop in the car and go. But the more time you spend in the sim, the more time you get comfortable driving that Ford, knowing where you can throw it into the corners, knowing it's front engine, it's real heavy up there, so you want to brake in a straight line. Seems to fit his driving style. Guy is flying. He's now only 2/10 behind John. He's just looking for an opportunity.
That's right. Oh, and we're going to see it. We catch it just in time as he throws it on the inside. What a move. But no, John's going to get it back. John Malott is reminding Creamy that he is the defending champion and to respect his medal. We got battles up and down the grid right now. I don't know who to watch. We got Cam Waters half the second, Gav Cook 2/10 right now. Let's hop over and quickly look at Gav Cook and see if he's going to try to make a move into turn 1 here. Bert says he misses the Honda. It's nice to see Chrono in it. Bert, you would miss it less if you came back and raced with us for one final season. The farewell tour, you may call it, until the next farewell tour.
The right take. I think Creamy there, by the way, who was pulled back to within 5/10 of John just while we watch Gav here. I think he knew that he kind of overcooked it, and he opened up the inside to let John back by. You gotta love some good race etiquette there. That's just a good driver doing the right thing.
Yeah, and it did look like when we kind of... Oh! Creamy into the wall! Unfortunate! Splat goes Creamy. Yeah, absolutely.
A sentence nobody thought you would utter, but truly the case. It sounds like, it looks like what happened there was his back. He did the same thing. His car got unsettled the same way in the same place, and he got enough dirt on that rear tire where he just, this time instead of spinning left, he just spun right. That turn has now claimed him twice. We will see what happens going forward.
And that is just classic mystery track right there. As classic as mystery tracks get, right? Just the unfamiliarity with the track and the circuit. Although I don't know if I can give Creamy that excuse after those qualifying times he put up. But yeah, so unfortunate to see. But I was saying right before that happened, it did look like Creamy was maybe a little bit late on his braking zone coming into there and kind of threw that car in the inside with more of a dive to prevent himself from hitting John and gave that position back. But it's a bit of a moot point now because he is in the wall. He finds himself down in 15th place overall, and we just got to hope there's not too much damage and he can come charging back. But Gav is still looking for some sort of opportunity to strike, and Kyle Hirsch has also closed this gap on Mr. Neil Kerbal, the great and powerful, as they like to call him. And by they, I mean me.
Well, he is in striking distance in that alien Hunter McLaren, setting his sights on that Lexus, which in real life doesn't compete in the World Endurance Championship nearly as much anymore. It does in IMSA more. That car is absolutely railed. Like, it's so fast. I have no idea why Lexus has decided not to continue to produce it. Although the new Toyota GR-GT, which we can cross our fingers and hope shows up at some point here soon, is a sweet car to replace it. But Kyle's just kind of sitting in his wake here. Like, he's close enough that he's probably getting a little bit of slip at the end of the straights. We'll see if that has any effect on his ability to close here, but it's tough on Zolder. They're long straights, but I mean, the track is so narrow, like, you're kind of just waiting for someone to step into the gravel so you can make up some time.
All right, so as you're talking here, we got Gav Cook as our first driver to go and take his pit. I also want to stay over and follow along with Gannon Faust here. We got a battle between Gannon Faust and Felipe Pereira right now. An exciting battle here in the AM class. You love a good AM battle because they are so unpredictable. The pros are so methodical about how they overtake. They have the strategy and they implement it, and we see it here. The AMs are going through the dirt. They're spinning around. They're doing donuts. They're taking left turns right-handed. And yeah, it's incredible watching the AMs race. Gannon Faust is going to go through. Absolutely love an AM battle. And what a battle that was between Gannon Faust and Pereira. We see Sam Suiza right now. He is chasing down Christopher Black. This is our closest battle at the moment, although I say that as Suiza fell off a little bit. But let's kind of take a second here to go through our leaderboard. We have Neil Kerbel currently in first place still. A second behind him is Kyle Hirsch. A second behind him is Cam Waters. A second and a half behind him is Logan Nagel. And then we have Professor Chronotis, who's 6 seconds behind Logan Nagel. A perfect split here with our pro drivers. Then we're going to go to our Pro-Am class. Jim Kelly still holding the lead. 2 seconds behind him is Christopher Black. A second behind Christopher Black is Sam Suiza. Ooh, just a little twitchy there. A second behind Sam Suiza is Stephen Noble. Then we got Senior Tarugo, and then Alan Leung rounding out our Pro-Am rankings. And then, of course, we have Hudson Kang, who's currently leading our AM class in his debut race here at DRL, followed by John Malott, Creamy Von Cream, who's continuing to recover from 2 spins, Gannon Faust, Felipe Pereira, and then, of course, Gavin Cook, who just came out of the pit lanes. One of the few times I think we've ever had the perfect split between the classes. I don't know who it was here at DRL who decided the classes for this drivers, but that person should absolutely get a raise and a pat on the back. Oh, I think it's happening already right now, live on stream.
I've heard they've got an incredible hairline, a great setup, and are just truly an incredible commentator. So credit to whoever that person might be. They truly deserve all of our attention and credit.
All right, and let's hop on with Creamy Von Cream again. We've given a bit of commentator's curse here today, having twice have him crash, but maybe we'll try getting right in that cream-filled hole that we see on the dashboard as he's chasing down John Malott again. Cam Waters is also kind of edging off under a second, so we'll keep an eye on that as well.
It's really funny. Creamy's definitely got the pace today. You can tell he's really just floating out there, for good or better, for worse. But he's at this point. If you're Creamy, you're probably wondering, do you wait to do your pit stop until after John dives into the pits, or do you try to undercut? Like, he probably could get this move done on track, but the pit window is open, and so do you do what Gav did and you dive in early? Like, a lot of stuff going through your head as a driver here, in addition to the fact that he's right there. Like, all it takes is for one good exit down to a long run on a straight, and he's got John right where he wants him. So
absolutely, and Bert wants to know.
And he's hoping he can get down the road to Kang. Sorry to interrupt you, Dan, but that's what he really wants, because he could be leading this class. The qualifying pace was there. His race pace is there. He just needs to keep it clean.
Absolutely, and Bert wants to know, is that a belly button on the hood? What is that? Bert, that is a cream-filled hole. Let's try to get a better view of it some way.
I fear it may be a glazed donut, Dan, but
it is. It's a glazed fill, not filled. It's just a glazed Krispy Kreme donut. I'm not sure if in the great country of Canada they have Krispy Kremes, but it is an American classic.
I'm sure Tim Hortons sells glazed donuts. If they don't, I'll be happy to find out.
Do not insult Timmy Hose, okay?
I'm not insulting you. I'm a massive fan of the coffee, brother. But You know, surely they sell a glazed donut. I would be remiss if they did not.
I don't know. Bert, does Timmy sell glazed donuts? We'll find out here shortly.
This is the boots on the ground reporting we need from Bert because he's not going to drive.
He says we get it imported.
As you should, baby. Krispy Kreme donuts are where it's at. We say that, by the way, we were just talking about that pit strategy. John Malott has dived. He's diving into the pit, so he's thinking, I'm gonna let Cream go, right? And now Creamy is basically what's going through his head is, I'm gonna get the fastest lap I possibly can because I need to make this overcut work.
That's right, and we saw it so much last season, how often the pit stops came into play. Again, we have the big decision of, do you take the tires? I don't know if you're going to see the tire wear on this type of a track. It's just a few chicanes, and it's all pretty much straight from there. So I think
also the benefit of a cloudy day, it's not particularly hot, so this track shouldn't be chewing up tires. I'll be shocked if folks take tires, but you never know. Some people they just want the fresh tires so they can push at the end of the race.
Yeah, and it's such a tough position because right now every class is so tight. Oh, as we see, who was that? Sam Zawiza spin in front of Stephen Noble here. That was shocking. As we got a refill on the whiskey.
As you should. I'm running low in my fridge sig, but my doctor says I only get one of them, so otherwise I'll get addicted. Oh no. Who would have thought? But yeah, it's a shame for Zawiza. He was really doing a good job keeping up with Steven, but it's tough to make. This is a track where if you spin, it's actually really tough to get back onto it because of how narrow it is. The rejoins are difficult. So like the racing line, you can kind of see on the rubbered-in portion of some of these turns, it's like half the track. So you make a mistake and you got to rejoin, like you don't have a ton of leeway to do it.
No, you're certainly right. And yeah, as I was saying before, I got distracted here with how tight the times are. 5 seconds is a lot.
We say that, and Noble just did the same thing that Zawiza did. Zawiza is now back ahead.
It's Basil Hayden, Bert. It's just kind of a whatever one. Shout out to Basil Hayden. If you work at Basil Hayden and you want to sponsor us, I'll drink your whiskey more.
He's definitely not going to drink it unless we're sponsored, just in case anyone's wondering.
This is a one-time opportunity for our 9 viewers.
If any representatives from Basil Hayden's are watching, we're eager for a sponsorship.
Or certainly any other
happy
whiskey.
To make you the exclusive whiskey of DRL.
Yeah, certainly any other whiskey companies out there, you're more than welcome to take their place here. Okay, yeah, so, but the 5 seconds in the pit stop could be a big difference maker here with how close these times are. So you really want to make sure, if you're going to take that 5 seconds, that you can make it up. And I think with the strategy of pitting as late as these drivers are, you got to ask yourself, is there enough time in the race to make up 5 seconds?
That's exactly right, Dan. If you're going to take tires here, my bet would be that you should be pitting earlier so you get more use out of them. I fall into the camp. I'm a late pitter with no tires if I can help it. That's like what I will always do, unless I have to change the tires. But like, it's really, you get so comfortable on those worn out tires.
Yeah, we got a battle here going on right now. I'm going to try to look at this from a different camera here between Sam and Stephen Noble.
These two, they've been tangling for the last 3 laps now. Like, this is not, neither of these guys want to take the lead and hold it.
Yeah, you absolutely love to see it. Let's look at this from the hood of Sam Zawiza coming out of these slow turns here. This is going to be an opportunity where if you can hold that traction, but I believe it's this chicane we saw both drivers spin.
Yeah, and that Mustang, just for folks that aren't in the sim, so you got a front-engine Mustang versus that mid-engine Ferrari. So that Mustang wants to brake in a straight line, turn, and then get on the power. And you have to be a little bit more delicate with those mid-engine cars because you get to brake a little later because that weight is helping keep the rear down. But you got to be careful getting on the power early because all the weight's in the back of the car, so the middle of the car, I guess, in this case. So his best option here will be one of these long straights if he can get a good exit leading into one of the chicanes.
Yeah.
Because then he can brake a little later and make a move.
And sometimes you kind of run into the problem if you're too close going through these turns, you kind of compromise your own exit, needing to compensate. So sometimes, like where he's at now, you find yourself in a great position to really maximize your exit speed and get a great run. Yeah, Bert, you're right. It'll be interesting to see where Gav does kind of play out with these pits as he's continuing to recover here. I think Gav was probably hopeful more of these drivers would pit and get out of his way. He's kind of having to do some overtaking here himself, but Cam Waters is the next pro to come into the pits. We also saw Jim Kelly come into the pits. Tarugo's pit, Alan Leung's pit. So we have a lot of the pro-ams who have successfully completed their pits. While we're doing this, let's take a look at our pit stops. What have drivers possibly done here? It looks like our fastest pit stop was by Gav Cook at 27 seconds. Jim Kelly's at 35. Tarugo's at 32. Alan Leung's at 34. So it looks like maybe Gav chose not to take the tires and these other drivers did. Looking at about a 5-second difference. 28 seconds for John Millot. Total time pits running somewhere a minute 02 for John, a minute 01 for Gav Cook has been our fastest to about, a minute 7, minute 10. So kind of interesting to see how these pit stops play out as Sam Zawiza has come into the pit as well, ending that battle. Let's hop on with Kyle Hirsch for a little bit. Thanks, I'll look it up. Yeah, Basil Hayden is like one of those that's like a super like mid whiskey. Like if you're looking for a bourbon that is drinkable but not gonna break the bank, it's Basil Hayden. I think I got this particular bottle at Costco for like $30, which is a great deal for like a whiskey that you can kind of drink straight, but it's definitely not the nicest whiskey that you can find.
It's good for drinking straight, and it's good for cocktails. To your point, Dan, it's a good like mid-range option for an everyday drinker. I mean, not every day. I don't drink every day. Surely
No,
not.
it's just like a casual one. Like, you have like nice bottles if you're celebrating something, but I should have brought something nice. I keep them all at my parents' house, or else I drink them too quickly.
That's just being thoughtful with your collection. Is what
That's
I would
right.
call that. As we're watching here, so for those keeping track for those on Gav Watch, which I think is Bert here in chat, Gav is currently a minute 19 from the leader. So that means that presumably, if the leader right now, it's Neil Kerbel, were to pit and come out at the rate that it seems like everyone else is coming out, he's going to be about 10-15 seconds behind the leader, which actually is really good considering he's had to basically hit a recovery drive tonight. So be interesting to see how many of Noble, Black, and Nagel especially he can pick off.
Yeah, and we see here with Gav Cook, Cam Waters has taken his pit, and he's come out about, Gav Cook's about 2 seconds behind, or I guess up to 3 seconds now for Gav Cook. Man, Costco doesn't sell alcohol in Canada? That sucks. Because you get some really good finds at Costco.
I'm a Sam's Club user, and here in Texas they don't sell alcohol either, so I feel your pain, Bert.
Really?
Yeah, it's truly upsetting. Because I sure don't buy stuff in bulk, and it sure wouldn't be useful, that's for sure.
He must have had an issue then because he was with Hirsch. Yeah, I don't know if you were here when it happened, but he took too much curb, he spun out, and fell all the way down the grid. So, to Jonathan's point, this has been a recovery drive for Gav. We got Sam Zawiza and Stephen Noble have both taken their pits. The undercut has not worked for Sam Zawiza because he finds himself in the same exact spot when he went into the pit lanes in an exciting battle. We're at 0.2 of a second right now. Sam thinking about throwing it on the inside, but is going to think a little bit better of that. Jonathan, as we follow along with this, is there a lot of World Cup activity going around where you're at? And, if so, what's that kind of vibe and environment like? Because we're going to see Sam Zawiza taken across the beach.
Yeah, funny you should mention that. I was on my bike ride on Sunday. Did like 15 miles on the bike. I got out early, and I live near SMU in Dallas. Folks live in Dallas know where that is, and I'm biking through campus and as part of the ride, and I look over to my right on the soccer fields, and who's there but the Japanese national team is practicing on the SMU practice fields. I was like, why are there all these Japanese people? Oh my God, it's the Japanese national team. Like, it was like the most bizarre thing. And right now it's summer in Texas, so I'm expecting to see like summer camps, and it was not summer camps. It was a professional soccer team. Yeah, no, people are fired up. It's been awesome. I heard people cheering in the streets tonight when Leo Messi got a hat trick. Like, my neighborhood is fired up. World Cup time is a good time to be. Listen, it may not be fun for traffic, but it sure makes for entertaining. Literally any night of the week, there's something on TV.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's been a lot of fun matches already. We got an Mbappe in chat also. But yeah,
France out here with the 3-1 victory tonight. They're looking dangerous. I'll be honest though, I after watching Messi just manhandle Algeria tonight, I know that we're racing here, but it's almost terrifying to wonder what the knockout stage is going to be like once all these guys qualify. We're going to get some good soccer. And it's soccer, not football, just in case we're wondering.
we're in
I hope
America.
Gav listens back to this. You're in America, and it's soccer for the next month. You can live with that. I pray that Gav listens back to this, hears me curse the sport, and doesn't hate me.
All right, so let's quickly run through because we have had all our drivers besides Hudson Kang who have taken their pit stop. Hudson's got plenty of time to get in. All right, Neil Kerbel, Kyle Hirsch. Kyle's still right behind him, but Cam Waters is going to find himself in third place, but 7 seconds behind Kyle Hirsch. So Kyle and Neil are kind of making this a two-driver competition here. After that, we got Logan Nagel, who's a second and a half behind Cam Waters. We have Gavin Cook, who's a second and a half behind Logan Nagel, and Professor Cornotis 18 seconds behind there. Wrapping up our pro drivers, going into the Pro-Am, Jim Kelly still able to be holding on to that lead. He's got it by 10 seconds over Stephen Noble, but Sam Zuiza, he's going to look to make the move here. He's going to throw it in the inside, and this time he is going to make it stick. Stephen Noble is going to stay the noblest of drivers here at DRL. He's not going to put too much pressure there, and he's going to look to attack. So Sam Zuiza is going to find himself with 11 seconds to chase down Jim Kelly for the lead here. Stephen Noble in third. We have Tarugo behind them, and Alan Leung looking to cut down Tarugo. Alan Leung, our silent assassin, has cut down every AM driver tonight, and Christopher Black. Now he's got his sights set on Senor Tarugo. And in the AM class, we have Hudson Kang. Hudson Kang has a 2.5 second lead to John Malott. But let's not forget that Hudson Kang has not taken a pit stop, or he did not successfully complete the pit stop if he did go in there. Try to take a look at my statistics to see. He did pit, so for whatever reason, he did not pit successfully. So that's going to be problematic for him. Oh, what happened here? Oh, Tarugo has fallen down. Sam, so let's go back a little bit in time here. We're going to go back 30 seconds, Jonathan, to see what the heck just happened with Sam Zuiza and Stephen Noble and Tarugo, because the timetables just started going crazy here.
Yeah, I saw the same thing. There was a yellow flag next to, like, all three of them, so...
Looks like maybe it's just the timetables tweaking.
Maybe. Let's see here. This will be the... he does go off the track and rejoin, so who knows. Maybe it thought that there was a little incident there when in reality there was not.
All right, we're going to ride along with Alan Leung here as he looks, like I said before, to cut down Tarugo, the silent assassin, at work. We also want to keep an eye on Gav Cook. He's less than a second to Logan Nagel, as well as Stephen Noble as well. But Hudson King has not successfully completed his pit stop, so he is going to... that's going to fall to John Malott for the lead as we look at Alan Leung thinking about a move there along the outside. Definitely got Tarugo looking in his rear view mirrors there. Creamy Von Cream, 10 seconds to John Malott. So John Malott may find himself on top of Creamy right off the bat here. Gannon Faust and Felipe Pereira are rounding out the grid here. And what has been a very exciting start to our race, or start to our season here.
Yeah, a lot of movement on this track. You know, it's a mystery track, right? So you gotta think that the lack of practice has, even if it hasn't impacted some of these pro drivers as much as you might think, it's still rattling around in their head, you know?
No, it absolutely has, and the mystery tracks get hard. You know, you're not familiar with them, and if you're looking in your mirrors a little bit, you're gonna make that mistake. We've seen a lot of mistakes tonight from drivers who usually don't make mistakes. Is this gonna be a spot where Alan Leung thinks about it? We still got about 13 minutes left in this race here, so plenty of time. Alan is gonna go and take a very interesting overtake move across the grass. He's gonna give that position back, as he should, and the racing will carry on. So, Jonathan, something to keep in mind here is over the next 12 and a half minutes, who do we vote for driver of the day? So, something to keep in mind here. But sorry, what were you going to say?
No, I was going to say, speaking of driver of the day, I mean, Silent Assassin might be on a lot of people's lists. That's a bailout of a movie. He sort of thought he was closer than he was. But Tarugo, we were talking about mistakes. He's made like 3 lines in a row on that turn 2, turn 3, turn 4 complex. He's coming out a little wide and just giving Leung the overspeed in order to catch him. And that's where he's almost gotten close enough on the chicane like twice now. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. Keep an eye on Tarugo because, you know, Alan's doing what he does really best, which is sticking within striking distance and waiting for a mistake to happen.
No, absolutely. It's how he strikes people down. But speaking of this, Kyle Hirsch has caught up to Neil Kerbel. He's within half a second here. We're sitting on the hood of the Alien Hunter, looking to strike someone down here in this final 10 minutes of racing. Neil Kerbel getting a little squirrely on the exit. Kyle Hirsch going to look to capitalize coming down this main straight here. We're also keeping an eye on Alan Leung, who's currently 7/10 behind. These are our 2 closest battles at the moment. Stephen Noble is about 1 second behind Sam Zubiza right now. That is another one to keep our eyes on, but we got 3 battles here going into these final couple minutes. Also, Christopher Black is closing the gap on Alan Leung. We are going to find ourselves in a classic DRL 3-way here.
And you know, as intended, just non-stop action across literally all 3 classes. Again, the guy that set these classes up, we got to give him some credit. I don't know that
we certainly do. Man, I don't know who to watch. We watched Leung. At least in Leung's rearview mirror, we get Christopher Black closing as well. Keep an eye on that lead as well. Kyle Hirsch is falling a little bit farther back right now. Tarugo taking a little bit too much curve there. That may not be ideal for him. Although it looks like he got great exit speed, which I guess ultimately is all that matters here, right, Jonathan?
Yeah, it's this turn 1 is really weird because you would think it's actually an okay spot to overtake, but the track's like cambered to the outside, which means it's like sort of off tilt. Oh, as he dives up the inside.
Oh, contact is made!
Oh, that's such a shame for Alan. He saw an opening and he said, I'm tired of looking at this guy's rear wing. I'm sending it. Meanwhile, now Christopher Black is like, ooh, Tarugo, I could pass you.
And he's going to. He's going to have it in on the inside here. Or I guess it's going to be the outside coming into the next turn, but he's got the speed. Tarugo's not going to battle with him. Unfortunate for the Silent Assassin. He is going to be countered by a little move by Tarugo. A little bang, bang. Thank you, Maine. As Christopher Black gets through, and he's got his sights on Stephen Noble, but here comes Kyle Hirsch. He almost runs into the rear of Neil Kerbel. That was close. Close to disaster. But what's going to happen here for these drivers? Where will Kyle be able to make a move? Will he be able to make a move, or will Neil run away with it? You got to think, though, after coming that close to making contact, Neil's got to be on high alert, keeping his eyes on that rearview mirror. Will that be a distraction for him, Jonathan?
Well, you've been leading the entire race, right? And you've spent the entire race looking in your rearview mirror. That is not an easy place to be. It does absolutely affect you mentally. Now, I will say, we're talking about the cars specifically. The McLaren just hates curbs. Like, it truly despises any unsettling to the vehicle. and that Lexus does not mind chomping on them. So you're gonna probably notice them take slightly different lines as they go through like these chicanes, for example. But all it takes is Neil to look in his mirror and miss one braking point, and all of a sudden, Kyle is through. So
Just watch this from the rear of Neil's car. A little wing.
and again, Neil has been staring at somebody in his rear view all race. Like, it does take. We joke that sim racing is just a video game. I've heard people say to me, there is a lot of mental energy that goes into leading a race for 40 minutes straight and knowing that someone is just waiting for you to screw up.
No, it's definitely true, and it just you feel that pressure so much, and it's really easy. Well, I guess everyone's different, but as a driver, I always felt it was so much easier following than trying to lead. We're going to see Alan Leung. He fell down a little bit more. Tarugo's got through him as well. Bird is right. This is not a game, Jonathan. This is real life. This is real life
It's a simulation. That's exactly right. And that's why everybody, we don't overspend on these. Are very economical sim racing rigs, where it's a very easy esport to get into. Everybody knows. So no, it's a blast. It's a ton of fun. Any folks that are watching that don't race in the sim, you get your hands on it. If you want to get ACC, like, message to join. This is the whole point of racing, is to have these experiences and to have a blast. So
and I'll also
we've
say,
had
if you've
great
never
racing up and down tonight.
if you've never joined a league, it's like infinitely more fun being in a league, because public lobbies are just a shit show so often. And to actually have people who are taking it serious in racing is a lot of fun. And hey, maybe you're someone like our good friend of the stream, Sin, who has a PS5 or an Xbox, whatever it is that Sin's racing on. And maybe you just need to grow up and get a PC so you can race with us, right, Sin? Sin agrees with me. Whether or not they're here,
Sin,
they agree
of course,
with
he
me.
does. Oh, for sure. They definitely agree with you. I will tell you, I know some folks that race in the iRacing League, and they do it on a controller, and I have no idea how they're faster than me. It's truly embarrassing. Like, bro's sitting there with a controller, and I've got, like, my full sim racing setup and everything, and I'm just slower. Oh, look at this. Creamy is now in the middle of a sandwich.
Yeah.
That's right where he wants to be.
Interesting. We're now coming to the point where they are catching the back markers. How will this affect the race? Thankfully, Kyle's able to quickly get through. Although this isn't a track that really has a lot of turning zones where you find yourself, like, I'll use Coda as an example. If you're able to get through turn 1 and someone else wasn't, they're just going to be stuck through all those S's. And you can kind of start to build yourself a little bit of breathing room. I don't think we'll see that happen here too much because there's just very few turning zones, and there's not really any, like, multiple turns in a row.
Yeah, for sure. Although,
Window is now closed.
you sure said something controversial earlier, Dan. I'm going to have to call you out on. You said that Coda is a polarizing track. Anybody that doesn't love Coda is crazy. Coda's phenomenal, and I will die on that hill.
I don't know what it is about ACC, but it's not as fun in ACC as it is in any other game that I've played. Whether it be, I've never done it in iRacing, but like in F1, it was way more fun to drive. Something about it in ACC is just not as good as it is in other places. But yeah, it is. Amongst the drivers, I think you'll hear, as we get towards the Coda track, a lot of complaining.
Oh, I can't wait. I sure can't wait. I love a little opinionated drivers. That's what we all strive to have. There's those things that you see on the schedule. It's like me when I see the Nürb on the schedule. I'm like, I love the Nürburgring. It is so much fun. I may suck at it, but man, is it a test. And then there are other people who see the Nürb and they're like, this is the worst thing ever. Absolutely not. They call it the green hell for a reason, baby.
Bert says Coda is an F1 track. So,
It sure is. It's been pretty good in World Endurance Championship, I'll say. Although they did get the benefit, I think it was 2 years ago, they raced in like a literal monsoon, which just made the race fun because rain races are always fun. But I agree. It is a Bird. It's a phenomenal F1 track first and foremost. I don't know what it is. It's been good in every reg set that I've watched F1 in as well. So credit to Tilka, I guess, for designing that sucker. Just looking to see. So Kyle has dropped back. He's now 2 seconds behind Neil Kerbal. I wonder how much of that Neil has gotten really lucky on the backmarker piece. This is like the second time I've tuned back into Kyle and seen him like driving through a chicane behind a backmarker. So you got to wonder if some of that luck is going in his direction. But we got a couple folks between Leong and Creamy who are both really close to the folks in front of them. There's
right.
some overtakes to be had here.
And this is for the first place right now that we're watching here for the AM class, this battle between Creamy and John Malott. So we're going to follow this a little bit right now because this is for the top step of the podium. And Jonathan, you talked about liking the Nürburgring. I think we do have to make sure we mention on this chat or on this stream tonight that our very own Jim Kelly, you may not have heard, but our very own Jim Kelly has done the NEC not once, but twice. So how about that?
NEC is such an incredibly fun and difficult endurance race. You got so many different classes of cars. Like, it is a true test. So credit to him.
All right, so I said I was going to follow. As I went over this, Creamy got past John Malott for first place. Creamy has taken first place here. We got Kyle Hirsch right there as well, too. We got battles up and down the grid. I want to try to go back 30 seconds in time to see if I can catch Creamy overtaking John Malott, and we got it perfect. What a creamy move by Creamy Von Cream. And how has no one told me I have qualifying overlay going? I had the qualifying overlay. How embarrassing. Creamy Von Cream. There you are, first place. Creamy to the lead, as well said by Bert. John Malott 7/10 behind him, so we're going to back off. We got Alan Leung, who's 4/10 right now. We have Kyle Hirsch as well, who's 4/10. We're going to try to go back and forth between these three drivers coming down the main straight. Is this going to be the run that Kyle Hirsch needs? With 48 seconds, the question is, will this be the last lap, or will we send them around one final time? So if Kyle Hirsch is going to make a move, he needs to find a time to make a move. With less than a minute, Jonathan, correct me if I'm wrong here, but this is that time you throw it in onto the inside and leave it all out there on the track.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. On that last chicane on the previous lap, he got within inches of Neil's rear bumper a second time. You got to wonder if that first miss is rattling around in his head. That being said, even further down the grid, Alan Leung is just, look at him. He's prowling trying to get past Tarugo here.
That's right. Getting ready to strike down one final driver for race one here. Let's try to hop on the hood of this car. You know what, better yet, let's sit in the passenger seat of this car and see what can happen as we keep a close eye on Kyle Hirsch. Creamy Von Cream has got 4 seconds ahead of John Malott, so that is pretty incredible in of itself. We got a little bit of a breakaway. This is our closest battle here. Is Kyle going to look to move it on the inside? He is! It's contact made! Kyle's going to smash into Neil Kerbal. What is he going to do? Is he going to drive away with it? Is he going to give it back? He's going to give it back to Neil Kerbal. Right there. God, imagine if Cam Waters just came through. That is not Cam Waters, but how about that? Does Kyle look to throw it on the inside? I think Kyle is going to just concede this position given the incident. Can't be Kyle the car's livery. It's his Alien Hunter livery, and there you go. Neil Kerbal with the victory. Kyle Hirsch. Cam Waters is going to be in third place. Logan Nagel in fourth. Let's ride along with Gav Cook. Creamy Von Cream crossed the finish line as well. Congratulations to Creamy. Big win starting out, taking that from John Malott at the end here. And we're going to ride along with Professor Chronotis, who will be our next driver to drive. What an ending to that race, huh, Jonathan?
Oh my gosh, you could see it. Like, I literally know exactly what he was thinking. He was like, this is my chance. This is my last opportunity. I am going to put this car somewhere. And sometimes you just get a little overzealous with it.
Yeah, you know,
credit to him for doing the right thing.
And Jim Kelly's going to take the win in Pro-Am. So how about that? Jim Kelly dropping the gauntlet to Sam Zawiza and saying, I'm coming for the title, the same way Creamy does to John Malott. I think Kyle was looking for the switchback there. I think he expected Neil to go a little bit wider, and he's like, I'm going to hit him with that switchback, pull it in on the inside, and it just didn't work out for him. Christopher Black is going to cross the line here, but I want to watch this because Alan Leung, he's going to have a drag race to the finish. Who will finish first? Oh, it's going to be close. Oh, Tarugo holds on to it by milliseconds. What a finish. Our last two cars to cross the finish line. Incredible finish. What a race tonight, up and down the grid. As we take a look at this beautiful split, our pro drivers are going to finish Neil Kerbel, Kyle Hurst, Cam Waters, Logan Nagel, Gav Cook, then Professor Chronotis. For our Pro-Am drivers, we got Jim Kelly, Sam Zawiza, Stephen Noble, Christopher Black, Senior Tarugo, and Alan Leung. And we're going to finish with Creamy Von Cream taking the AM victory, followed by John Malott, Gannon Faust, Hudson Kane, and Felipe Pereira. Give me a second here. We're going to go to intermission after an exciting race here. We're going to get our replay set together. We're going to see if there are any drivers that want to be interviewed in the green room to start off this Season 11 incredible racing. Give me just 1 second here. I'll be right back.
DRL, we break the chains. No brakes, no fear, no slowing down. The checkered flag is calling, wear the crown. Degenerate race league, where the tough survive. Living for the moment we're born to drive. With steel and speed, we own the track. No looking forward, 'cause we won't look back. From the streets to the asphalt, we own it all. Rising like thunder, hear the call. Push it to the limit, take the lead. In the DRL, we race with greed. From the streets to the asphalt, we own it all. Rising like thunder, hear the call. Push it to the limit, take the lead. In the DRL, we race with greed. Degenerate race league, where the tough survive. Living for the moment we're born to drive. With steel and speed, we own the track.
All right, we are back here getting ready to go with our interviews. We got a few drivers who have pulled into the green room getting ready for an interview here. Jonathan and I just joking off stream about what fun of a race this was tonight. Such an exciting way to start off Season 11. Let's start by pulling in someone who had quite an interesting race tonight. It was an incredible race, incredible qualifying by this particular driver, but they ended up coming through without, lots of trials and tribulations that they went through, and still they managed to take that top step of the podium. Creamy Von Cream, our creamiest driver, welcome to the stream. How do you feel after this race today? You're muted in case you are unaware of that.
Oh, how do I feel? Kind of pissed at myself, to be honest with you. As you pointed out, in the first couple laps, I was just in my own head and just got my car off the track twice, one time into the wall, and I didn't make it easy for myself, that's for sure.
Oh, we saw, Creamy. We saw. Yeah, but it was an incredible recovery drive. Not once, but twice, like you said, you found yourself down at the bottom of the grid. How do you mentally recover from those mistakes early in the race? Because I know for myself, it's easy to just rage quit, right? So how did you recover from that mentally and, be able to take that lead with a minute left in the race?
Oh man, just as cliche as it sounds, just breathe, and focus on the race. Focus on hitting your marks. Don't worry about. Basically, I have to tell myself, don't look at the timing chart. Don't look at who's where. Don't look at my tires. Just focus on my entrance, apex, exits, and just
Yeah. So did you find it was a dominating qualifying performance for you? Right. You came in and you had pole for so long, and incredible qualifying, incredible pace. Does it give you any comfort just to knowing, like in the back of your head, like I have so much more pace on these guys if I just drive my race?
Yeah, 100%. Exactly what you said. I knew I could get into the 129s, even though I didn't during the race, but I knew I could. And I also knew that Melot likes to single stint his tires or double stint his tires. So I knew at the end of the race he'd be falling off, and he was. You could tell he was losing pace.
So then you chose to take the tires.
Yeah, I figured 5 extra seconds, I can make it back up on the track.
All right. Yeah, we were
Well,
talking.
you sure did. Like you got past John and you flew. You were like 4 seconds ahead. What were you doing? Did you get some extra like rocket boost or what the hell was going on there?
I think I just got out of my own head. You know, those first couple of laps, I just got them out of my system and went back to quality mindset.
Well, you were fast as heck. How does it feel coming in to start the season? You had a great finish to last season. We talked about that a little bit during the race, but anything you did during the break, any practice you had over the break, did you use the time to take off? Like what were you? What has really been the catalyst for your strong start to this season after a strong finish to last season?
I a lot of LFM racing. I think I've done like 30 races in the last 2 weeks, and then I've realized that I've just had a very understeery setup in my Mustang, and so I've been making it more oversteery, and I've been getting a couple of tenths here and there from it.
A couple tenths here or there as he freaking outraced the Pro-Am drivers. Creamy, what a start to this season. It was so exciting. Nothing more fun from our end than to watch a driver just throw the gauntlet down to the returning champion and say, it's my season. We're so excited to see how the season plays out for you. Hoping for exciting battles every race the way it was for you. John popped into chat here. He says that was an awesome move, sticking with the leaders to get by me. So huge praise from him in chat as well. But yeah, congratulations. What a way to start season 11 following the, complete success from season 10. And I'm so excited to watch the battle between you and the rest of the AM drivers play out the season. When you look at the schedule for the season, is there any track that pops out to you either as one you're really excited to race or you're really not excited to race?
I like all of them. Honestly, I think this season is a great set of tracks. Maybe Coda. I always struggle with the track limits on Coda.
I told you, Sean. They love
Coda's the goat.
They love it.
They love it or hate it, baby.
I said the ACC drivers, they either love it or hate it. No one is just indifferent to Coda. So, well, Creamy, congratulations. What an exciting race. What an exciting night all in all to start the season. I hope you enjoy your victory. It was well-earned. It feels like it was well-earned 3 times tonight. So enjoy the victory, and we will see you next week.
Thanks a lot, Dan and John.
Yes, sir.
All right. We got quite a few drivers in here. We got Cam, we got Kyle, we got Logan, and we got Steven. Let's bring in next Cam Waters. Cam, welcome back to the stream. Another season, another night of nonstop battles for you. Talk to us about the start of season 11 for you.
I'm really excited. Really off to a good start. This is exactly what I really wanted. Just not falling back too much and just getting the podium first race. Really happy with that.
Yeah, so I know you talked a lot last season about just with ACC specifically, you haven't driven a lot of these tracks. So it probably more than anyone really affects you with the mystery tracks if it's a track you've never been on before. What's your experience been with Zolder?
This is one of those tracks where I've barely done. I did like 2 races, but it just wasn't like something competitive. In my time, I think I got was like in the 29s, high 29s. And I figured I had to like go up a like higher level in the quality in the race and just kind of figure out the track in an hour. But it was really fun, excitement to just trying to work out where to brake and the chicanes, like with the Ferrari, it's so hard because you just touch the chicane a little bit, and you're just off into maybe the wall or something. So it was really fun.
Yeah, this is very tricky because it feels like each chicane is very different with like how long or wide it is. You know, especially that last chicane is so like elongated. They're kind of weird to drive, but you know, I got to think if there's any track to learn in an hour, this Red Bull Ring are probably two of the easier ones because there's not too many breaking points that you need to learn through. Curious about your pit strategy tonight. Did you choose to take tires?
Yeah, I took tires, but funnily enough, I probably shouldn't have taken tires because I think my AI gave me the used tires from qualifying. So, second stint, I was just really off the pace.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I've heard that happening from other people before. Or if you don't set the tires to pull correctly, it'll give you the used one. And if you're on used tires, it's probably definitely not worth taking the tires. But yeah, as we said, another season, another set of battles for you, attacking and defending. What's your hope for this season as a whole? Where would you say if I landed up in this position, I would feel like it was a success?
I would say going for the championship, trying not to get my hopes too high, but I would say championship is my main goal, and just trying to keep in the top three in most races and trying to stay competitive.
Yeah, and I
finish the
think
race as well.
I think you certainly have it in you. I think the biggest mistake that anyone makes is thinking you need to win every race to win the championship. We've seen it over and over again where consistently placing, 2, 3, or getting a couple victories is enough to get you that title. And consistency is key, and you've been consistent over the now 9 races you've had here at DRL, and you've been so fun to watch. Jonathan, you got any questions for Cam?
Yeah, Cam, I'm actually just curious because I asked Creamy this, and he said he's been doing a ton of stuff on LFM. What did you spend your break from the league races doing? Were you running publics as well? What was your did you take the time off? Like, what was your strategy in the downtime?
Mostly just having fun in public lobbies, just doing a few tracks, Barcelona or Silverstone, trying to get better. But funny enough, I found something maybe that's been hindering me a lot, which is my braking, and I think my brake pedals were not correctly calibrated. But I only found that out after the break, so but it was really cool to know that now because I think there's like 3 tenths in every single lap that I've done in the past, which is really fun to know. But I'm excited, like just having fun. So I didn't really take it too seriously, just having fun in public lobbies. That's all.
Don't let him lie to you, Jonathan. He's been eating nothing but protein, squats in the gym.
Hey, I
100
gotta
push-ups
respect the
a night.
grind set. to be fair, hey, Cam, you can attest. Public lobbies are the gym. It is.
Yeah.
It is a
Yeah.
nightmare out there.
Wait, so
Really
Cam,
good for the safety rating.
Cam, was it today you figured out that you had braking issues, like just right now post race?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't today. It was a week ago.
Okay, I was gonna say if you're
wait.
gonna find 3 tenths on this pace, everyone else is gonna be in big trouble.
Yeah. To be fair, this race I had so many mistakes, but I think in quali I had 2 tenths at least. But that's for another session, I guess. You just had to keep the lap together.
Awesome, Cam. Well, one last question for you before we let you go. Taking a look at the schedule for this season, is there any standout race to you that's one you're either really excited about or one you're kind of dreading?
I'm dreading Kota. It is.
I'm telling
such
you,
a
I will
long
not
track.
take. I'm not taking Coda slander. Coda's the goat, and I will not. We've been you will hear this on the playback cam. We're making a running joke about this all season. I am a Coda fan, and apparently ACC drivers hate Coda, which means we need to change your mind.
Yeah,
But I
and,
think-
and
I
Neil
think,
said in chat, everyone's dreading Coda. Yeah, I said there's some people who love it, but a lot of people just hate it. Go ahead. Sorry, Cam, to cut you off.
I think once we've driven on it, it's gonna be fun because it's very wide and so many opportunities for like good racing as well. So I'm probably looking forward to it for the racing, but the driving probably not.
Fantastic take from Cam. The racing will be truly epic. Yes, absolutely. I'm stamping it now.
All right, Cam.
Yeah.
Well, you have a wonderful day or evening, whatever it is for you. And we're so excited to see you next week and for the rest of the season to follow along on your journey to becoming a DRL champion.
Thank you so much.
All right, Jonathan, we got Kyle Hirsch, Logan Nagel, and Steven Noble. Who should we bring in next?
I think this is a Kyle Hirsch angle for sure.
A Kyle Hirsch. All right, and Sam Sawisa popped in too. So, Kyle Hirsch, welcome to the stream. You dirty racer taking out Neil at the end. No, I'm just kidding. What a race for you, huh? How about that? Talk about exciting.
Oh yeah, that was an absolute blast. I feel like I had my workout, my cardio was in for the day because of chasing Kerbal. Man.
Yeah, we need to hook you guys all up with like some Apple Watches or something that get the heart rate monitors on the screen.
Oh, I must have been through the roof.
You were following him really close for most of the end of that race. Twice I saw you got really close to the back of him. What was going through your head? You were especially on that last lap. I'm curious. Did you like just see it as your best option? Were you going for the switchback? What was going through your brain?
So, in order to pass Kerbal, you need to force him. you need to get some elbows out and really push him. And when I got that close, I knew that my only opportunity was going to be into that hairpin. And when he covered the inside, I was torn on whether I wanted to pry it around the outside and pin him, which I probably should have done, or hope that he was going to outbreak himself and create a cutback. I banked on the second one, and I ran right into his butt. So,
yeah, but you did the honorable thing and gave it back. But yeah, that we talked about, and we had thought, you were probably thinking he was going to run a little deep and try to pull that inside. And if he did, it would have been an absolute cinematic overtake and one of the final turns of the race to make it happen. But nonetheless, it was an exciting race and an exciting start to the season. It feels like the last couple seasons in the pro class, who's ever the faster driver of the bunch really is like way faster and just runs away with it this race. But not really this time. You kind of kept it within a second of Neil, kind of kept that pressure on him throughout the whole race. Was part of your strategy just hoping a mistake happened, or did it just kind of play out the way it played out?
Around this track, I was really hoping for a mistake in the chicane or overshooting a braking zone. Like I was banking on a mistake. I had flirted going side by side with Gav earlier in the race through the first chicane, and I realized just how bad of an idea that was when we lost a ton of time. So I was just trying to put pressure on him and make a mistake.
Well, yeah, it almost worked out great, but unfortunately it played out how it played out. But nonetheless, it was a great start to the season for you. Second place finish is never a bad finish. When you take a look at the schedule as a whole, are there any races this season that stand out to you as one that you're either really excited about or not too excited about?
To be completely honest, I have not looked at the schedule.
Wow.
So, I knew today was going to be a mystery track, and so I
nope,
just
we're done. We're done with him, chat.
Too much.
Done.
Danny said
Danny
it's a mystery. You've got hold on, I'll pull it up really quick here. Just out of complete curiosity for no reason whatsoever, thoughts on Coda just as a track? Where do you stand there?
I think Coda is really fun to race at, but it is terrible to practice at.
See, that's a fair take. I can appreciate that. See, Dan, notice how somebody with a good opinion came in and said that it's fun to race at.
I didn't say it wasn't fun to race at. I said people either love it. I said people either love it or they hate it, and Kyle both loves and hates it.
I love it for the fact that I put the best move of my life on my brother there, so that makes it a good track for me.
There we go. Yeah, we've been talking about this literally all race. We've been joking about Coda because I'm a Coda defender. So
I heard that's I think that's like second to last because that's what who was telling me. I think Hermanus was telling me that. So that one I know is on the calendar.
Yeah, Hermani's was super pumped for it. We let him. The schedule of the season was made by Hermani's, and he was like, "I can only make 3 races this season, and I need one of them to be Coda because I think this is only like our second time racing Coda here at DRL.
Okay, it's really the second time.
Second or third.
Wow.
Very few times has it been raced.
Wow, I'm surprised by that. Well, it'll be fun. It's a track not very many people like, but it provides some really good racing because you can take so many different lines for passing there, and it's a fun track.
And Neil agrees with you 100%. I haven't been paying enough attention to chat to know what it was, but something you've said, Neil agrees with you 100%. I'm assuming it's on Coda.
Well, I think it's more of he enjoyed it when it touched his bumper. You should have heard the voice chat when that happened, because as I'm trying to let him through, I'm just yelling at him, "Go, go, go! Cam's coming!"
Well, Kyle, what a start to season 11 for you. We're looking forward to seeing how this season plays out for you as a whole. Thanks for popping in with us in chat, and yeah, we will see you next week in Brands Hatch.
Ooh, I like that one. That's a fun track.
All right, Kyle, have a great night. Thanks for popping in with us.
All right, guys. Thank you guys very much.
All right, Logan is streaming something in the green room for the boys. So you want to bring in Stephen Noble or Sam Zawiza?
Let's do Sam. I'm curious. Poor guy's fighting for his life all race.
All right, Sam, welcome to the stream. What a battle for you and Steven out there tonight, but incredible battle for you. Talk about the start of season 11 for you.
Oh man, I was not thrilled on the track at all. I don't care for the track, but I thought I had a good setup for it, so I hopped in late. Luckily, was able to fix the setup real quick, and then by the time the race started and throughout the whole race, I actually enjoyed it a lot and had a lot more fun than I had expected. Because, like I said, not a favorite track of mine at all, but I had a blast. It was great battle, I thought, from the start up until a handful of laps left. I finally had a little gap there, but yeah, what a action-packed, fun race. Sounds like from everybody. Everybody had a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is, I think, one of those tracks that works great as a mystery track because there's not a lot of braking points that you need to learn. You have a couple chicanes, you have a hairpin, and not much more than that. So I think drivers are able to pick the track up quick enough, but it's still tricky enough that drivers make a few mistakes here and there that keep the battles going. There's a few spots on the track that you can kind of throw a car in on the inside, and it's not too long of a lap either, which always plays out well. But yeah, it was exciting up and down the grid. So coming into this season, you're coming in as a defending champion. Do you feel like that has affected your mindset at all coming into it? Where you feel more pressure, or is it completely indifferent to you?
Well, so it does a little bit now because I guess the way that it worked out with the amount of drivers and the drivers that are returning, I expected to be in, in the pro class, which I knew I wouldn't be competing for a win there, and kind of felt like I was kind of in between the two classes. But I saw a couple names in the Pro-Am class that had come down from Pro last season. So I'm looking forward to a competitive season. I like quite a few of the tracks, so I feel pretty good about it. But as you know, anything can happen, and there's a handful of fast guys right around there too.
Yeah, so let me pull back the curtain a little bit for you guys and tell you about the class placing process. We actually put you in pro, and your assessment of everything was like 100% spot on to our minds as the admin group. And the way it just played out after we put everyone in the categories we thought was the Pro-Am class was too light, and we did move Hermani's into the class, but he's only able to make like 2 races, which was part of the reason we moved him down at a pro to like maybe make room for someone else. But yeah, we wanted to try to balance him a little bit more, and we felt like exactly like you said, you were a bit in between where you're fast for Pro-Am, and you're a little slow for pro. And we said we know Jim and we know Chris and all the other guys, Stephen Noble, that they would be up to the challenge of trying to take you down. And we also thought it would be fun for one of the first times to have every driver returning to their class as a defending champion. So yeah, your assessment was like literally spot on to our mindset of how to handle it.
Yeah, I saw that, and last season was fun. That was tight all the way up into the end. And I kind of expect a repeat of this season, not necessarily in the result, but there are a few tracks. I don't have the calendar in front of me, but a few tracks that are definitely my fastest tracks, and others that I am, like this one, not a fan of. So for me to pull out second place in this one, I think was a huge advantage. I didn't see what happened to Chris, because I didn't think I was gonna. He was in front of me before I pit, and then I didn't see him and didn't even know that I was that high up, because I was in the back of the class until some point, but it wasn't from me passing people, so I wasn't sure. Noble was the only one I really got past, and he terrorized me for most of the time that I was, just right there. It was a interesting matchup with the Ferrari and the Mustang, because there's definitely corners that he could take much faster, and then I could take much faster. So I would try to either build a lead or catch up on a few, and then just try to hang on for the rest of the lap. But yeah, what happened to Chris?
I can't think off the top of my head what happened to him, but a lot of drivers found themselves like spinning out through some of the chicanes, taking a little bit too much curb, and spun out. I do you remember if we caught what happened, Jonathan?
No, I'm leaning towards what you suggested because of that exactly. Like, we had a ton of people who the car they'd take too much curb, or even through some of those like medium speed right-handers, like the car would get floaty and then they'd just sort of lose traction at the end of it. So I think with him, I think he had an incident, as it were, and wasn't able to keep trucking along at the same pace.
Yeah, that was a fun one. I had gotten by Noble in the first stint, and had that. I took a little too much curb in the final chicane, spun and lost it. Following lap, he spun and lost it, so I got him back. And then I caught the grass going into one of them and didn't spin, but lost a few seconds, and he got right past me again, all in over the course of just 2 or 3 laps there. Yeah, those curbs are tricky.
Yeah, no, you're and credit. I mean, great job today to battle through some of that adversity. Looking ahead, other than the tracks and stuff, what is your you think you're going to be able to hold some of it together and fire out another championship? What's your heart say after tonight?
I mean, it's do I think so? Yes. Would I be surprised if I don't? No. But yeah, I definitely think it's in. I honestly, and I hate saying honestly, because anytime someone says I'll be honest, the first thing out of their mouth is usually a lie. But no, I feel like I really feel like the ball's kind of in my court. But I know how aggressive I drive, and I drive whether it's a 24-hour endurance race or a 45 or 20-minute sprint. I run every lap like it's a quali lap, so I know anything can happen. But that's how I enjoy driving, and I'm not gonna sacrifice that for position. So they'll kind of fall. I feel like end up how it ends up, I'm just gonna go 100% every lap, and if I can keep it clean, then I would like to think that I would end up on top, and if I don't, then congratulations to whoever does, because I won't be taking it easy, that's for sure.
So one last question for you. You had mentioned earlier that you love some of these tracks, and there's some of your like fastest tracks, and now there's not so much. Throw me like one track that you're really excited about, and maybe one track that you're not super excited about for this season.
So let me pull up the list real quick because it has been a little bit.
For no particular reason at all. Obviously, there's no ulterior motives here.
So was I believe Bathurst and Spa are on there or no? I can't.
Okay,
it's
our
saying that-
schedule. Yeah, our schedule. We got next week is Brands Hatch, then we go to Laguna Seca, and then we have a night rain race at Red Bull Ring. We have a reverse grid at Silverstone, Watkins Glen, Coda, and then a mystery track.
So Coda, I am not a fan of at all. I love the
Wrong.
track. If there was a little more grip, I would absolutely love it. But it's so slippery. I definitely struggle there. Silverstone, I think I've driven 5 laps on because I don't like it at all.
Interesting.
Laguna is a track that I'm sub 101, and Red Bull as well. I'm right there on the cusp of 101. Watkins Glen's another favorite, but I've had some disastrous races at Watkins Glen too, so anything can happen for me there. And Brands Hatch too. I absolutely love Brands. So Silverstone, Coda, definitely 2 that I'm not looking forward to.
That's surprising about Silverstone.
Pretty happy about.
I think Silverstone is a pretty fun one to drive. I think any of the F1 tracks, if you will, make for good racing because they're pretty wide compared to the other tracks. But Silverstone is brutal with the track limits, like more than any ACC track I've ever driven on. It's the one where like 3 laps in, I have 3 strikes already.
Well, that's not good news for me.
Well, Sam, it was
Fun.
a super exciting race tonight. I know anytime you're not on that top set of the podium, it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but it was such a fun race to watch tonight, and I think for it not being your best track, like you said, second place you'll absolutely take. You still got the drop rounds in the book, so if it goes bad on any of the other tracks, you can end up dropping that race. So we're so excited to see this season play out for you as you defend your DRL title here.
Yeah, same. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a great group of guys, and yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Definitely looking forward to it.
Thanks, Sam. Have a great night.
Thank
All
you,
right,
sir.
and we got one more driver here looking for an interview. We've said that we are saving the best for last. He is our noblest driver on the grid, Stephen Noble. Welcome to the stream. What a race tonight. How are you feeling about it?
Pretty good. Zolder's not one of my better tracks, but I felt like I performed pretty well tonight.
Yeah, I mean, not only did you perform well, you were just in the thick of battle, it felt like, all night.
Yeah, me and Sam and I think Chris Black.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, especially you and Sam, we were watching you guys just battle it out lap after lap here. Is that something that you enjoy, like the thrill of the battle, or after a certain amount of time, is it like the pressure is starting to build and it's like, okay, I just want this to end and carry on?
That depends on where I am in the battle. If I'm the car behind, I love it. If I'm the car ahead, I want to get as far away as possible as I can.
You don't get the thrill of parking your car in the middle of an apex and watching somebody struggle to get by you. It's so fun, Steven.
I mean, as I've developed in my racing career, my racecraft has improved, and so has my defense. So, like, now that I'm not afraid to, block an apex or make it hard for the guy behind me, I do enjoy that a little bit, but I definitely like the thrill of the chase a lot more.
Well, yeah, you certainly got a lot of that tonight. How you feel coming into season 11? Because correct me if I'm wrong here, but you came in late into season 10, so it wasn't a full season for you. So you kind of got a taste of it this season or last season, but now this season you're really having a chance to compete for that title.
Yeah, and last season kind of gave me a look into the window of what the battle is going to be like, and I think it's going to be a Sam, Jim, and Steve show for the top three here.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you take a look at the schedule, is there any tracks that you look at and like, this is going to be my track, or this is going to be the track that I take my drop round on?
Laguna and Watkins Glen, probably two of my absolute favorite tracks. So very excited for those two. Red Bull Ring is one that if I never had to drive it again, I wouldn't be sad about it, especially wet and at night.
What's your thought on ironically why is there like certain people I know hate Red Bull for the track limit situation, at least on iRacing. What makes Red Bull that way for you?
It's the same thing that makes Zolder that way. It's a track I've never cracked the code on. There's a lot of like off cambery, like like they look easy, but they're super technical corners, and it's just a track I've yet to crack the code on.
Gotcha.
Fair enough.
Very
well, maybe
interesting.
maybe the night and the rain will help you crack that code.
Yeah, I'm hoping that'll just be a general equalizer for that race.
No, I
rain
think
tends to be that. You're right. That's what rain is, at least in real world motorsport. There's a reason why Lance Stroll is on the podium in F1 only when it rains. He's a good rain driver, you know.
Yeah, and I think it's also one of those tracks that the rain will really hurt drivers because a lot of drivers drive it so much. It's a relatively easy track. It's a short lap. So people are pretty familiar with it. And I think it's those types of tracks that people come into a little too confident and don't prepare well for the inclement conditions that will come. And it's always interesting to see like how bad is the rain, because sometimes you set the rain and it's relatively dry, and then other times it's like a monsoon.
Yeah.
Which will come into play here. So, but I think you're right in the sense like you're going to be right there battling it out between you, Jim, and of course Sam trying to defend his title. The other thing I got to think you have your eyes set on here is you and Logan going after the constructors title as well.
Yes, sir. We are definitely going for that. That is something we're pretty excited about. I think we have a good chance at it too.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to go through this week. I know for everyone on stream, we didn't run through constructors teams this season because every year no one ever forms teams. So we'll start to force drivers to pair up together to form a few more teams on there. But yeah, that'll also be exciting. And I think there would be nothing more rewarding for you than to win the Drivers' Championship and a Constructors' Championship as well right off the bat with your first full season here.
Yeah, that'd be pretty exciting. We'd be pretty excited about that.
Awesome. Well, Steven, thank you so much for joining us. Jonathan, do you got anything else before we let Steven go?
No, Steven, great race tonight. I'm super excited to see that battle. You did an awesome job, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the season.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right, take care, Steven. All right, and with that, we have wrapped up here our interviews. Lots of drivers coming into interviews. Gotta love it, huh, Jonathan?
Yeah, for real. We got some. Listen, this is a great group of guys. It's a great race. We had a great race tonight with some awesome overtakes. So we got a full season on our hands. I don't want to speak too soon, but I'm excited to see. It'll be interesting to see if we can have a true battle for each of these classes rather than a runaway, because it seemed super competitive tonight.
Yeah, I mean, of course, that's always the hope, but it feels like it. It feels like we're going to get a great battle between Creamy and John in the AM class. Like Steven said, him and Jim and Sam, I think, will be a close battle throughout the season. And it'll just be interesting to see where Ryan falls into this mix as well. This is going to be his drop round, so there's no more chances for Mr. Bono. And of course, where does his brother come into play here, right? We've never seen Laker or Lakier. I'm not sure exactly how it's pronounced. We've never seen him race before, so it'll be really interesting to see how does he place. Looking at some of his times coming through his on his registration, he has some tracks that are incredible pace, but he's only driven like 2 or 3 tracks in ACC. So it'll be really interesting to see how this season plays out as a whole. But what an exciting night and an exciting start to our season. We had a great, exciting qualifying battle, everyone qualifying it out. And then the race provided tons of action up and down the grid throughout the whole race. It even finished with a drag race between Leung and Tarugo to finish this thing off. I know I had this up for a while when we were doing our interviews, but let's run through it one last time. We had our mystery track tonight, which was Zolder. That next week we're going to find ourselves in Brands Hatch. Then we're going to go out to the California coast for Laguna Seca. Then we're going to go to Red Bull Ring for a rainy night race. We're going to head out to Silverstone for a reverse grid race. We'll head off to Watkins Glen. We'll head back to the U.S. for COTA. And we will round out the season with a mystery track. An exciting evening up and down for us here. And this excitement is all brought to you by all those names on our screen right now. Thank you to all of our Patreon Gold subscribers. Without your support, we could not do what we do here. And we thank you guys all so much for your support. And not just for our Patreon Gold subscribers, for everyone here who hung at us in Twitch. If you're watching this later on YouTube or even just tuning into our Twitch stream later, thank you for your support. If you are using a subscription, whether it's through your Amazon Prime account or you're using your money for it, we appreciate that as well. And of course, so much love to everyone who pops into this chat to talk with me and Jonathan here. Especially shout outs to Sin, to Neil, to Ryan, to Rugo, Bert, Phantom Mucho Killer. Thank you all so much for popping in, chatting with us, and hanging out. Jonathan, I got one last question for you before you go. If you got an answer for me, who would you put as your driver of the day tonight?
You know, I was thinking about that while we were doing interviews. It's really tough. I think I'm going to go with Zuiza for, you know, there. Or you know what? Yeah, I like the idea of the fighting through adversity piece. You know, that he was just, I mean, they were battling all race. So I got to give credit out there to Creamy, though, and credit has to also be given to Neil for driving truly a flawless race. He got in front and he stayed in front. I don't know if anybody watches professional race driving, but that's the dream. You want to start there and stay there. So credit to all those folks.
That's right. Pretty much a full sweep for Neil. Placed first in qualifying, held the lead the whole time, and finished atop. So you love that for Neil. Yeah, agree. Sam's a great choice. I'd probably be thinking Creamy too. But so many drivers tonight deserving of it. You could even look at Alan Leung making up as many places as he did. You could look at Jim Kelly starting atop, finishing atop of his class as well. But yeah, up and down the grid, amazing racing by all of our drivers. So thank you guys all so much for hanging out with us. We will see you next week as we head out to Brands Hatch. Until next week, my name's Dan. I'm with Jonathan. We will see you then. Have a wonderful evening.